Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Coaching Think Talk. I am Coach Shaun Joya from Life Coach Philippines, and this is coaching for sane parenting. And these coaching conversations are for parents with teenage children and who are wanting to create a mentally fit environment at home. So, if you are someone who is working towards making sure that your children are mentally fit, they're able to cope up with the daily stresses and pressures of life, then I welcome you in this segment. Um, my mission is to be able to help 1 million parents create a mentally fit ecology at home so that they can keep themselves and their family alive and live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Thank you for joining me for my live today, and please leave your digital footprints by letting us know where you are currently today. Where are you from today? Asan po ba kayo ngayon sa araw na to? On a Thursday morning. Please do tag friends and circulate this video to help us reach more individuals who might be in need of what I will be sharing to you this morning. You may also give a shout out to people you want to greet and reach out with more inspiring messages. Let's continue to message other, send out message in there. Tell them that, hey, I think about you. I care for you. So thank you very much for being here. And if you're watching this on a replay, please do comment hashtag replay. I am streaming via FB page of Life Coach Philippines and YouTube channel Coach AI Connect. Yan. If you are new to the platform, please like, follow, and subscribe to the pages, the YouTube pages, and the Facebook pages. All right. So thank you for joining me. We're going to talk about bridging the parenting conflicts at home, and this is something that I think we all need as of this time, at times when everyone is at um, everyone is at home, right? Even the parents are working from home, the children are studying from home, everyone is there, and everyone is cramped up in the house that's not set up for work environment, for learning environment. So it was set up before as a place for people to rest and have that connection. But because of the changes in the environment, because of the pandemic, our household now is being used as a workspace, and it's also being used as an avenue for people to learn. So please have your friends join in here for the parents. So if you have parents out there who's joining, just let them join in, and let's start having this conversation. All right. So if this is the first time you're joining me, if this is the first time you're watching me, if this is the first time you've seen this face, I am Coach Shaun. Again, I'm a professional life coach and mental health coach from Life Coach Philippines. I am a son, I am a husband, I'm a father, a brother, a friend, and my focus in the area of self-leadership. And self-leadership is being intentional on the way you feel, the way you think, and the way you respond. And most right now I have my children, I have a son and a daughter. So my daughter is 19 years old and my son is 15 years old, so mga teenagers na sila. So I've been married for 19 years and my eldest is 19 years. So most of my journey for the last 19 years, I've experienced that early on in my lifetime na maaga naging tatay. Ano nga, sinasabi ko yan, maaga namulat sa katotohanan. O, di ba? Kaya kung may mga meron man dyan na maaga namulat sa katotohanan, yan, kung teenager ka pa lang, ay nagkaanak ka na at nagkaasawa ka na, put that in the comment section below. At least I know that, you're connecting with me. Thank you very much, Leonard, itong couple na to, and Coach Nords. Maraming salamat for joining from La Trinidad, Benguet. Ayan, maraming salamat for joining me this morning. And what I do is I help people create clarity or have clarity in their dreams, demands, distractions, desires, so that they can focus on creating the kind of destiny that they want to live. I really help the parents and the teenagers as well on how to create a future, a life na gusto nila, gusto ng puso nila. At times we get too so immersed with the hustle and bustle of work that we forget about the most important thing in our life, which is our family. And nawawalan tayo ng oras sa kanila, nawawalan tayo ng oras on having this emotional connection, an opportunity to connect, an opportunity to get to know each other. And these are the things that I want to help parents, or maybe ikaw naman na ay parent, okay ka naman, pero yung anak mo, you've observed or hindi din clear sa anak mo kung anong gusto nilang gawin sa buhay, what is it that they want to do, what is it where they do want to go, or ano yung mga bagay-bagay na kailangan i-consider. I help them, teenagers, those are the people that I focus with, and also the parents, so that nai-enjoy natin. Alam mo yun, yung hindi kung saan-saan pumupunta tayo, di ba? Sayang kasi yung oras, sayang din yung investment natin on as we progress in life. And one of my strength is humor. Ayan. I've always believed that humor, I recently believed that humor is the greatest skill that we can all have to gain confidence, to be courageous. The seriousness of our lives, especially me working in a corporate world for 14 years, mostly, bawal yung humor dun. Dapat seryoso ka dun for people to follow you. But I've realized how important humor is, because when you take advantage of your humor, and I know Leonard is one of this, humoristic yan, sabi nga ni Coach Nords. And this is something that you can continuously teach your children as they age. Natuturuan mo sila ng humor. Because if you're able to laugh at yourself, I tell you, it's a different and most powerful feeling, kasi hindi mo binibit yung sarili mo. Na alam mo, okay, sige, may mga ganung bagay ka na you've learned something, or hindi mo talaga alam, or there's some things na kailangan mong matutunan. And when you have humor, it just makes the experience, a lot less stressful for you. Yeah, negative stress. It's you stress, because you get to learn na, okay, these are some of the opportunities I need to develop, I need to improve, and I need to work on. So humor, yeah, if you are a parent right now, or if you are someone who's taking a look at how can I, increase the level of confidence that my children have, my niece, or maybe someone na medyo mababa, teach them humor. I tell you, it works a lot, just to allow them to smile. And so far, I've been doing this coaching profession full time since I left the corporate world back in 2019, after 14 years of successful career in the call center industry, which landed me a directorship role. So I'm very, very blessed in there on a corporate setting. Very blessed as far as career is concerned. Salary is doing great. Everything is doing well. Well, stresses are there too. But 2 years ago, I decided to go full time in life coaching, because I felt there's really a need right now, especially for parenting, on how life coaching can transform the way our children sees us and sees the world. Because if we start changing that, if we are getting coached by an individual who's a professional coach, we're able to see more and understand more what's happening in our life. Gain a deeper understanding of where we're at right now, and what are the things that we need to start developing for our future and our children's future. Yun naman talaga yung critical doon. As a parent, yung future talaga ng mga bata, yung gusto natin i-work on. Hello, Coach Rizal. Thank you for joining. Coach Sherry, maraming salamat for joining me this morning. And as I've said, that my mission is to really help parents. That is my mission. I want to be able to help you create a mentally fit environment at home, and also the teenagers. I want to help the teenagers, have clarity on what they want to do. Maybe your daughter, your son is wanting to have a business. Maybe they want to be an entrepreneur. Maybe they want to monetize their talent. Maybe that's something that they want to do. Message me. Let's have a conversation. We'd be happy to support you and helping you. Helping them go through the process of life coaching, where they can really have or gain clarity of what they want, and have the confidence. Yung confident ka talaga na yun talaga yung gusto ng bata. And it's a wonderful feeling, I tell you, and a wonderful experience. All right? So let's begin. Let me share to you a story. So this was, I think this was 2 years ago, 2020. Ayan, last year. Ayan, 2 years ago. Sa old Decap Copy Republic. Ngayon, nasa Pioneer Center na ang Decap Copy Republic. And it was during the Thanksgiving day that we have. And what you see in the image right now, obviously our teddy bear and a unicorn. Yan. And my daughter and my son. When they were growing up, when I started as a father, I didn't really had the manual on how to be a father. Wala akong manual na yun. I don't have that manual. It wasn't clear for me. And the only thing that I understand is to make sure, and this is what I've learned from my parents, from my dad especially, na as a father, what you only need to do is to provide to the family financially. So make sure there's food in the table, di ba? Makain yung mga bata, nakakapag-aaral, eventually go to a good school, and those are the things that I was focusing on. And back then, when they were growing up, maliliit pa sila, I was still in Bicol, but eventually I needed to move to Manila for me to find a better job, to find a job, a job, which I am able to do. So most of the time, I'm an absentee parent. So wala ako doon. I don't really had that much conversation, especially with my son. The daughter ko nakapag-usap naman kami. And it kind of dawned on me na wala kami masyadong interaction. There's really no deep conversations in there. It's just the questions in there are, or how are things sa school? Kumusta? May kailangan ba? And so on. Ganun lang yung mga conversation. And as we progressed in our relationship, I have this short temper. Madali ako magalit. Especially pag hindi ko nakukuha yung gusto ko. I've been raised in a family in which my parents would give me the things that I need and the things that I want. Pag hindi nabibigay, magwawala ako, ibibigay nila. So, ganun yung environment ko. So, I'm used to that. So, I have low patience and low tolerance for things that I'm not able to get. And I remember a time that yung anak ko, itong dalawa, super kulit. Nasisigawan ko sila at napapalo ko sila. Yun yung worst. Napapalo ko sila, di ba? Nasisigawan ko sila. And one of the things that I'm not able to connect with them because I wanted to control them. I wanted to tell them, hey, follow what I'm saying. Follow what I'm telling you so that sumunod ka. O yun lang, sumunod ka lang. As they grow in age, we became disconnected. Like, we seldom talk. Hindi kami masyado nag-uusap. We don't really interact that much. They have their own little worlds. During those days pa, pwede pang pumunta lang sa school. So, as most often, makikita ko lang sila pag dinner. Tapos pag dinner pa, hindi kami nag-uusap. And there's a lack of intimacy in the relationship. There's lack of deep connection within the relationship. There's really a lack of connection. Yun talaga, wala siya. Wala siyang ganong connection. And I come into a realization when one day, medyo nag-rage mode ako nun. Sobrang hindi ko talaga mapigil yung sarili ko. Yung daughter ko, maliit pa siya nun. Not that small. Ano ko siya talaga, natapon ko talaga siya because of rage. Medyo nag-blank yung yung paningin ko. Natapon ko siya. Natapon ko naman siya sa sofa. So, soft naman yung landing niya. And that kinda woke me up and to realize na may mali akong ginagawa as a parent na hindi ko dapat ginagawa yon. Because what if in the future, my children would do that to their children? And I've realized that as we progress in our life, there will be conflicts in the relationship. There will be conflicts in your relationship with your spouse, with your relationship with your parents, the relationship with other people, and the relationship with your children. And this conflict, when we're not able to really address the real problem. At times we just take a look at the surface problems and not address the deeper problem. Hindi natin natutulungan yung bata on being better at coping, at thriving, or even having this conversation with other people. And I would want for you to reflect on how are you currently, having your conversation with your children when there are times of conflict. Like, paano yung conversation nyo? Are the conversations really coming in a space in which your children are expressing themselves? Are they in a space where they're able to verbalize what they're thinking about, what they're feeling about? And are they in a space where kaya nila mag-express sa'yo? Like, alam nila yung word na yun. Parenting for 19 years has been both struggling, painful, and joyful at the same time. And as I progressed, the connection between your children is the most important thing that we need to develop as parents. It's unfortunate that most of us parents are not taught how to manage our emotions. Maybe at times you are not able to express yourself, you'd rather be alone, tahimik ka na lang. Kasi pag nag-express ka, baka may masabi kang hindi kagandahan at baka masaktan yung kausap mo. And just have that moment of knowing more about yourself so you can respond better to your children. So, ganda nung iniwan ni Coach Rizal. How's your conversation in times of conflict? So that, because that conversations would define your children when the day that your time in this world is done. So how are you empowering your children to become better? Thank you, Lady Jen, for joining. Coach Nars, marami pong salamat. And thank you for joining me. So I'm gonna share to you a study on parent-child conflicts. So ang focus po natin ngayon is in teenagers, mga teenagers. But of course, you can utilize this kung may mga maliliit ka pang chikiting or even malalaki na. No? A study from Yale Child Study Center found that parents can lessen the effect of conflict with their teenage child by showing emotional warmth. Actually, yun lang. If you show emotional warmth, I tell you, the conflict would be reduced multifolds. And I've seen this time and again na pag, pinairal mo yung pagiging authoritarian mo as a parent, that will not work. I tell you, it will not work. You've probably proven that time and again. Like, nagiging bossy ka or been in a state of an authoritative parenting, that will not work. And they studied parents and teens for 3 weeks. So 3 weeks the duration to. They did a study. And they found that teens who feel more loved when the parents show more affection, understanding, and praise. So, sorry for the type wordings in there. When the parents give more affection, understanding, and praise. So when the children feel authentically, minsan isipin mo, Coach, para madali lang naman to, gagawin ko kaya to. When you are authentically showing affection and understanding and praise to your children, mas bumababa yung risks ng conflict in the conversation. And it was also reported that the feeling of less love, ito naman yung reverse, was on the days that are more conflict than usual. So think about the last 7 days or maybe the last 30 days of how the days look like for you. Was there any day that, there are conflicts between you and your children? Minsan sinasabihan mong maghugas ng plato, tapos instead maghugas agad-agad, kung mag-iintay pa ng mga 1 hour, di ba? Yung minsan 2 hours, tapos nagagalit ka na, nainis ka na, nabwisit ka na, ikaw na naghugas, tapos after nung bisit na bisit ka na, nasira na yung araw mo. Rather just allowing the children to do what they have committed to do. Or maybe you told them to already take a bath, pero andun pa rin sila, naglalaro pa rin, nakatingin pa rin sa monitor, nainis ka na, nabwisit ka na din, nasira na din yung araw mo. So think about this moment and these conversations that you're having, or even your response. Like, where is your response coming from? And how intentional are you when you are responding? Are you teaching them behaviors, mindsets, attitudes, and even beliefs that would help them become successful, as in the future they would probably have a relationship as well, or maybe they would get married? So how are you helping them? If you want to be able to mitigate the impact of conflicts, because conflict will happen, di ba? Mangyayari naman. Sabi ko nga, sa mag-asawa nga lang makita mo lang yung asawa mong may sinabi lang na hindi maganda or medyo nag-smirk lang yung mukha, parang nabwisit ka na agad, may conflict na agad. Parang ginajudge ka na, dami nang sinasabi, di ba? There is a way for us to mitigate the conflicts on how we can move forward and how we can better it. Here's one. If we want to be able to mitigate the impact of conflict, it starts with you as a parent, not with your kids. You would say kasi, di ba, kailangan kong turuan yung bata, kailangan ko i-train yung bata, kailangan ko lahat na lang sa bata binibigay. But really, the ownership starts with you as a parent. Because if you think about it, yung second bullet there, parent complain about the stress related to the conflict. Because when there is conflict, there is stress. Di ba nakaka-stress kaya pag nakikipag-away sa anak mo? Parang namimikon yung anak mo. Parang pinipikon ka, di ba? Have you ever experienced that na parang feeling mo pinipikon ka ng bata? parang intentional na binibisit ka, parang pupush lang yung button mo. Tingnan, kaya ko ba i-poke tong nanay ko, yung tatay ko? Pwede pa ba? Pwede pa ba? Pwede pa ba? Para makita lang kung hanggang saan ang kaya mo. So when you experience conflict with your children, your stress level goes up. And that stress level, obviously, if you continuously to do that, that will not do well for you. It will hurt you. And also, it will hurt your children. Diba? The study, however, shows that the conflict, yan, yung conflict na nangyayari, again, pwede nyo gamitin to sa mga chikiting pa, no? Can be managed as long as the child experience warmth from their parents. I want to emphasize this to you because at times na nabubwisit tayo, binibwisit tayo, naiinis tayo, na parang nawawala yung warmness, yung kindness, yung pagmamahal first sa sarili and sa ibang tao. Na nakakalimutan natin na anak natin yun eh. Na maliliit pa sila. And they don't know any better. It's unfortunate that at times when we do things with respond on people, we also don't know any better. That's why nakikinig kayo ngayon and you're watching because you want to learn, you want to develop it. Because that is the real reality. Oh yeah, the real reality. That is the reality of it all. Na pag naiinis ka, nabwisit ka, nawawala yung warmness. Tapos pagkatapos na sigawan mo sila or napalo mo sila o may nasabi kang hindi maganda, pag nag-calm down ka na and everything is, clear, wala ng clouds, you start to feel guilty. You start to feel shame. You start to feel, bakit ko ba nasabi yon? Bakit ko ba nagawa yon? Diba? O yan. Leonard, how intentional are you when you are responding? Ito mag-asawa to. Jan, no? Thank you for connecting. Yan. Connecting with this. Yan. Thank you, Coach Candy, for being here. Yan. Coach Nords, yan. Connecting. Na-experience ko sa'yo yan eh. O, yan. Connecting. Thank you very much for engaging there. People appreciate, putting in humor in the digital space. I tell you, kailangan natin talagang turuan yung digital space ng humor, even our kids. It's worth a while. I've been teaching my son and my daughter humor. And it's just a beautiful thing na nag-i-start na silang mag-smile. Dati masyadong seryoso yung son ko. Super seryoso talaga yan. Parang ako. And napapatawa ko na sila. So, there. Warmth. Warmth in your heart. Na yung puso mo. Pag nabuwisit ka, pag may conflict ka, bakit nga ba nabuwisit at naiinis at nagagalit? That's a bigger question that I always ask yourself. I always ask myself, bakit ba ako nagagalit? And is there really a cause for me to get angry? I want for you to reflect on this saying, this quote. I never really appreciated just how annoying I was until I gave birth to mini versions of myself. Obviously, these are for women, for men, o nagkaanak yung asawa mo, and started arguing with them when they became teenagers. So, think about a moment where you started, being annoyed with your children. Because at one time, or even still now, maybe, may mga ganong kaning situations. You still argue. You are arguing with your parents. You are arguing with your spouse. You are even arguing with your children. Diba? Nangyayari to. And when we start appreciating our children and their imperfections, the things that annoy us, or maybe at times na may pinapagawa ka hindi ginagawa, or maybe at times pag may nagsasalita sila na trigger ka, you get to have a deeper appreciation and understanding that our children are not us. They are not one and the same. They are different. And at most times, kaya tayo naiinis kasi nakikita natin yung sarili natin sa kanila. Di ba yung mag-asawa dito? Yung anak mo kasi parang ikaw. Yung anak mo nagmana sa'yo. Have you heard that from your spouse? Or maybe your parents? Or maybe your kapatid? Yan. Nagmana kasi yan. Lahat na lang sinabi, di ba? Nainis ka na. Nainis ka na din. Parang malamang anak ko eh. Sino bang kokopyahan? Alam nga namang kapitbahay, di ba? So, take a moment and appreciate your children and who they are becoming as of the present moment. Like, sino ba sila? How are they becoming? Who are they becoming in the process? And how are you currently making that change so that they become a better version, not of you, but a better version of themselves? That they're able to express themselves, they're able to, while they have conflicts, they still come into a space that, hey, I still feel your warmth, mom. I still feel your warmth, dad, or tatay, or daddy. Na kahit may pinag-argument tayo, I know that this argument is something that is needed to be done, kasi kailangan ko matutunan. Because in the future, when I have a spouse, I have children, I would know how to respond in a constructive way. Not in a positive, irritated way or annoying way na pwede mong gawin. So, how do you start bridging the parent-child communication gap? Parang yung picture yan, di ba? Nag-i-struggle tayo kung paano ba natin isi-synergize ito. Kasi sobrang hirap. Minsan nga, niisip mo talaga, paano ko ba itong kakausapin mga anak ko? Pag sinabihan mong mahina lang, hindi sumusunod. Pag pagalit, hindi din masunod. Pag nagpe-parentis ka, yung parentis, tuturo ko yan soon. Yung parentis, yung parang nag-iiba yung boses mo. Pag child connection into. Parang, oh, o kakain na, yan, o Mika, o yan, anak, halika na, kakain na tayo, ganyan yung parentis. So, ituturo ko yan soon, kung ano ba yung parentis na yan, and how you can utilize that to make more connection pag may mga maliliit pa yung mga anak nyo, no? At paglaki sila. And these are the things that we tend to struggle, and this is the reality. Yung common dito is we don't acknowledge that there's really a situation or a problem that we need to resolve. But when we're able to accept that, hey, kailangan natin ayusin, we need to start bridging this gap and having a conversation with our children so that they can be more connected. Yan. I recognize the positive sa akin mana, o di ba? Coach Maripet, tama, di ba? Nagmamana talaga eh. Mamana talaga sa parents. Yung anak ko, yung son ko sa akin nagmana eh. So, well, yun talaga yung nangyari. Okay. So how do you bridge the parenting communication gap? These are the things that you can start practicing. Practice just one, in the next 21 days or 30 days until it becomes a habit. Huwag sabay-sabay ha. If you need help, let me know. I would be happy to help you through it and go through it. All right. So number one, simple lang, actually. Simply managing how you, parents, and the teens communicate to resolve their conflicts is the key to healthy relationship long term. Yun lang. That's how you bridge the parenting-child communication gap. It's easy, but it's not simple. Yeah. Simply manage how you communicate and how your child communicates will help you resolve the conflicts. It will bridge the gap. Why? The biggest challenge why your children are unruly or not following you is because the words that you use doesn't register with them. Kaya nga yung one of my talks, di ba, I talk about the 30 million word gap. O yan, diniscuss ko yan. Kasi kailangan siyang ayusin. Kailangan siyang i-define para matulungan yung mga bata, madagdagan yung vocabulary nila. Especially if we are not the type of parents who share stories, who read books to them. Although sabihin mo, coach, nanonood naman sila ng YouTube. Well, who's filtering the words? It's a good question. So I'll give to you 5 tips to bridge this communication gap. 5 lang. Start working on this. So again, you want to bridge that. Simple lang. Fix the communication of your teens and yourself. And I'll give you 5 that you can start doing. Number 1. First and foremost, improve your behavior towards your child. Pag yung bata hindi sumusunod, siya, teenagers na to, di ba? Parang iniisip mo, dapat maglalaki na sila, dapat alam na nila yan, dapat ganito na yan, dapat pag sinabi ko susundin na lang. Hey, your child is not you. Don't make your child you. Di ba? Imagine mo. Don't make your child you. They will not grow, heartful. Kasi may sariling design sila. Do not shout. Do not raise your hands on them as this will not do any good. At times parang ginaganon na mo sila. Paala Superman ka. Pag hindi mo na kukuha yung result ng anak mo. You need to start managing that. Because when you're able to do that, I tell you, your child can start being more trustful that whatever he's gonna say, she's gonna say to you, you will believe. Especially yung mga behaviors na hindi maganda, yung pagkakasabi mo sa bata. Napipikon kaya yung mga bata doon. Parang, pwede bang ayusin mo? Para matino naman tayo. Di ba? Yeah. Number 2, understand things from your child's perspective. How many of you, come into a conflict, and instead of you understanding what your child is really communicating with you, ikaw na binombard mo na ng left and right words, kung ano-ano ng mga highfalutin words na ginamit mo dyan, at yung anak mo parang nakatingala na lang sa'yo, nakatunganga na lang sa'yo. Kasi hindi ka na naintindihan. Have you ever experienced that? I have experienced that. I bombarded my son with different kinds of words, and I saw my son just staring at me. As na-realize ko, ano pinagsasabi ko dito? Baka hindi naman naiintindihan. Kasi nakakainis ito may son nakakainis dati eh. Kasi hindi siya makapag-express. Parang nakatingin lang siya. And as I continue to study parenting and understanding the kids, I realize, kasi yung words nga, hindi naiintindihan ng bata because of that gap in words. So, understand the things in your child's perspective, because different people are, people are different. They're not you. They're yung kapatid nila, hindi mo sila pwede i-compare. They're all different. O yan, Coach Marife, pag English, di ba? Pag nagalit ka in English mo, wala naman ako ganun. Pero, di ba, binobombard mo, kaliwa kanan na. Parang wala nang iilagan yung anak mo. Kumbaga, palabas na lang, may tama pa. So, understand your child's perspective, because different people are different. And when you come into a space of understanding your child na iba yung pag-iisip nila, iba yung way ng processing nila, ibang yung words nila, or how they understand words, I tell you, it will all be seamless when you come into conflict. Kasi hindi intindihan mo yung bata, okay, baka yung bata hindi alam yung word na tong ginagamit ko. O baka naman, yung may pinapagawa ko, hindi niya priority. O di ba, I teach this, that different people have different priorities. And you might say work is something that your priority is, pero remember, when kids are playing, where children are playing, talking to someone, for them, that's work. Yeah. Keep that in mind. That's different. Number 3 is think your child as a unique individual. Ito yung sinasabi ko, na your kids are not you. Your kids are not their brother, they're not their sister, they're not the kids of your kapitbahay, they're not your ninuno, and so on and so forth. Treat them as an individual. Because when we continuously label them, comparing them to someone, that degrades the level of confidence of the children. Wala naman pala akong kwenta. Na, okay, sige, lahat naman pala ng gawin ko may mga ganito kang standard. So, paano yung standard ko? Paano yung feelings ko? Paano yung emotions ko? Sinong nagko-consider? So, they are unique. Your child is not you. They're different. So, focus on that. Iba sila. Number 4 is ask your child for their insights and choices. This one, for me, is one of the most powerful changes I did when parenting my teenagers. Na asking them, empowering them, what do they want? Like, take a look at this. What's your observation? What have you seen? What are you noticing? What are the things that you can do? What are the changes that we can do in the house? What are the things that we need to start managing? Yung pinaka-powerful na question kong tinatanong ko sa mga anak ko, which works for me and for them. I ask them, what change or improvement do we need as parents? Ayan. And I tell you, when the time comes when your children are super, super secured, conversing with you, sharing with you, pag narinig mo, I tell you, ang gaan. Kasi naiintindihan mo, okay, sige, ito yung mga areas of opportunity ko. Bawal lang pikon ha. Pag pikon ka, mag-usap tayo. I'll teach you ha. Tulungan kita sa journey na yan, mabawasan yung pikon niya. Ako, pikon ako sa mga ganyan pa may feedback. Parang all out battle. Let's do this. Let's have some conflict and war. Ayan. You can work on that. And that you can start working on. And if you feel this something na, alam mo yun, parang na-try mo na lahat. You've tried everything already, changing your ways, changing your conversation, changing how you approach your children. And when it's not working, let's have a conversation. Let's have a discussion. Let me help you. You can message me, contact me 0917-569-4200, or just message Life Coach Philippines. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a um, strategic session and think about where you're at right now and how life coaching can support you. Kasi life coaching for me has really changed the way how I see my children, and most especially how I see myself. Kasi that's the beautiful thing about it. When you start having clarity on what is wrong or what is not working, and you have acknowledgement, I tell you, the world just changes. And the relationship with your daughter and your son just becomes more joyful. Tapos nakikita mo silang buhay. O, di ba? My daughter was clinically diagnosed with depression in 2016. Minsan parang gusto niya ng hindi na magising. And I told myself na I need to change the way I parent my children because I don't want to lose them. May mission sila eh. So let's fulfill that. So if you have a child in there that you need support, a teenage son or daughter who has mental health considerations and need support, let me know. Let me help you. Let let us keep them alive. Let us let us keep them thriving. Kasi ang ganda ng buhay ng mga bata eh. Tulungan natin sila. Nandito naman tayo para tumulong, di ba? Para makita sila maging successful. So let's get out of that comfort zone. Baba muna natin yung mga kaya nating ibaba para sa mga bata. Alright? And lastly, guide them through difficult situation. Sorry for the spelling. Guide them through difficult situation. Empower them to make decisions. Give them the remote control. At times, ano ka eh, parang problem solver freak ka na gusto mo na lang lahat, ikaw nag-aayos. Ako na mag-aayos yan, ito na gagawin natin. So, nauna ka na. You're ahead of your child. Don't do that. Start shifting towards and allowing your children to, empower themselves, to be confident. Now, I know, of course, you love your child. You want to make sure that they're protected, everything's doing well, walang galos and so on. But again, my question is, are you preparing them for the reality of life? Because life is not, bed of roses. There's going to be thorns out there. There's going to be pain. There's going to be suffering. And if we don't empower our children to be able to thrive in this world, I tell you, they will be the one who's going to struggle when we're going to leave here. Right? So that is one thing that you need to do. Okay? So let me share to you common myths about teenagers. At times we get to have these mindsets that we feel na dapat ganito yung mga teenagers, dapat ganito yung mga ginagawa kanila, dapat ganito yung iniisip nila. I'll share to you 3 myths. Start reflecting on. Number 1 myth. My teenager purposely pushes my button. Di ba sinabi ko to kanina na parang binibwisit ka ba talaga ng anak mo? Nang iirita ka mga ba talaga? Parang intentionally bang binibwisit ka? Na-experience yun na ba yan? Have you experienced that? That your child pushes you? Parang binibwisit ka? Remember that teen years are the time to explore one's unique individuality. So during the teenage years, individuality of your children is the one that they're exploring and understanding. And they learn to separate from the comfort of their parents. Ayun ang sinasabi ko na may mga parents na overprotective, na nasasakal na yung bata. Maybe you know someone, nasakal na yung bata, hindi na, parang, pwede akong huminga. These are the ones that the children does for you to allow them to separate with you so that they can start, doing things themselves. Diba? At times, parang feeling mo may separation anxiety ka na, hindi, dito ka lang. You're not a big girl yet, big boy yet. I'll take care of you. So they don't push your button. What they want is freedom. What they want is the ability to make a decision for themselves and find who they are, rather than the parents dictating who they want they can be. So empowerment, that's the first. Number 2, my teen doesn't ano, my teen doesn't know what I think. Ayan, so again, sorry for the typo. My teen doesn't know what I think. Yan. While they won't show it, teens do usually look up to their parents and share similar values. Yan. So iba kayo. Like kung ano yung iniisip mo is iba yung iniisip ng mga bata. You know, they share the same values because they grow with you. Like I've asked my son and my daughter about their values. So nag-value ano kami nito last year. We started identifying at least top 5 values. And there is an alignment. Like your child want have the same value as you. Kanino naman nila kukunin, di ba sa'yo? So you have the similarity in values. What you only need to do is to find it out and help them prioritize the values so that you can help them and it can help yourself as well. Understanding ano ba importante sa kanila. Baka naman kasi yung importante sa kanila, di importante sa'yo. So may disconnect. And lastly, my teenager hates me because I'm stricter than other parents. Ayan, na-experience mo na ba yun? Nakarinig na ba kayo yun? Parang masyadong strict yung parents ko. Yung kabilang parents, parang ang saya-saya. Yung kaibigan ko, parang joyful. Yung kaibigan ko, parang everything is doing well. May ganong comparison. You know, even though they talk back against their limits, research have shown that teenagers who have clear rules and limits growing up often have less drug and alcohol problems, less driving accidents, and higher school achievements. So being strict is okay, but there's limits. There's boundaries that you need to create and you need to establish for yourself and also for your children. Kasi empowering nga eh. Kailangan mo tulungan yung mga bata. And these are the things that at most time as a parent, we tend to lose sight of how important it is for us to start changing and shifting our mindset. Because the mindset is the one that's creating the conflicts between our children and ourselves. Na dapat ganito yung mga bata, dapat ganito sila makapag-usap, dapat ganito sila makapag-interact, dapat, lahat may dapat, dapat, dapat. And these expectations is the one creating barriers for the two of you to have an emotional connection, to have that warmth being given, for the children to feel that my mom is there to help me, to guide me, even though at times conversations is not great, it's uncomfortable. Alam ko andun yung bata eh. Alam ko andun yung nanay ko. Alam ko andun yung tatay ko. Na kahit anong mangyari, maniniwala siya, the child will trust na what I'm saying holds true for me, and I need you to hold hand with me. For the past 2 years of me changing the way I parent my two children, I've seen such improvement in which mag-focus muna ako sa son ko. No? My son doesn't talk much. He's the type of guy who would just have a life on his own. Computer siya, okay na. And it saddens me because I'm not able to really have that connection with my child. This was way back pa. Na parang hindi ko kilala yung anak ko. And when I talk to him, he doesn't really express himself. And I was thinking, what is the problem in me? I started doubting myself actually. Thinking about how can I now make the changes because the type of parenting that I'm doing is not allowing me to get to know my children more. And children grow so fast this day, and the age of digitalization is really affecting the way they think and how they perceive the world. Now the question is, who is the one filtering what they receive, what they consume? And that began to dawn on me na walang nagfi-filter. And the only time that could help them filter it is the parents. But the biggest change that I've realized and I've start making is because na-realize ko na may mga opportunities ako as a parent and as an individual to improve and develop, to gain a deeper understanding on how I respond with them. Because if I don't grow, my children won't grow. Like my children will only learn what I learn. So if I only learn most of the skills, talents, knowledge from the workplace, How am I teaching my children to become better at home? O di nadadala mo yung status mo dun sa office papunta ng bahay. So you're teaching them to be employees rather than teaching them as individuals. So that totally changed the way I see things. And I've realized that life coaching, I tell you, the power of life coaching for my life has really changed and transformed the way that I see my child. We work on allowing my son to be more comfortable hearing words. Naalala ko yung time na nagagalit ako sa kanya kasi hindi siya nagre-respond. Tapos nung change ko yung conversation, only to realize na yung mga words na hindi niya. That's why I was teaching the word back. So I started adding words in there. I started adding a basic word, complex words, and so on. And eventually, as my son progressed, I tell you, ngayon, nag-express na siya. Nakausap na ako. Uh, Isa naging open na siya about yung private life niya. The verbiage or the words that he's using is more. May mga times na hindi niya naiintindihan yung word, focus kami, tapos explain ko, or at least ask him ano yung understanding niya, then we'll clarify, then eventually continue on the practice. So the crucial goal here in managing conflicts does not start from the children. It really starts from um, you as a parent. Yeah. Sorry for the audio difficulties. It starts from the parents. You as a parent, you are the one who needs to change first. Thank you, Coach Candy. Because when you start to change, I tell you, your children will change. And I'm gonna emphasize that every single time because yan po yung tinuturo ko in parenting. Now, if you want your children to be better, to be a better version, it starts with us. Now, you might say, Coach, parang okay naman ako. Okay, sige. Let's start with your child. Let's work on your child. Let's help them. Let's help them express themselves. Let's help them be more secured in their emotions. Let's help them have clarity on what they're desiring. Because the more that they have clarity, the better that they're going to have a conversation with you. So imagine a moment when your child is now able to express their thoughts, their feelings, their desires with you. How would life look like for you? And how would life look like for them? If you're someone who needs support, want to move forward, helping your children, change mindsets, establishing, this beliefs or this mindsets, this habits that you have, would like to invite you to get your kids to behave. This is a coaching session for parents who wants to understand the unlikely behavior of your children so that you can respond better. This will this one I've learned a lot from this, and this will totally change the way you see your children and how you respond to them. And if you are someone who's struggling right now, or maybe having challenges to have your children speak, this one would really change the course of how your relationship are with them. We're utilizing coaching as a medium to help you out here. And what is coaching all about? Well, coaching is unlocking a person's potential to maximize their own performance. It is really about helping them to learn rather than teaching them. Yan. In coaching, we teach children to learn, not to teach them. Natututo sila, I tell you. That's so powerful. Coaching is based on the belief that the coachee always have the answer to their own problems, which is true. Di ba kayo naman, alam mo naman nyo yung sagot sa mga katanungan nyo. Kailangan nang i-clarify, which is so empowering, by the way. And coaching helps people reach out or reach their full potential by helping them to unlock their thinking and remove barriers. It's worth noting that these barriers are often mental, yan, created by the coaches themselves. So imagine if you can unlock your children's um, language, the words, they can verbalize it. Imagine how much conversation would you have with them, and you can get to know them better. And lastly, in coaching, the coach doesn't advise, and all of the content is the coachee's. For this reason, the coach does not need to have a direct experience of the coach's role. So it's really about the coachee, and the coach facilitates the learning process. And if this is something that you want to explore, you want to think about it, you wanna, you're interested, I'm gonna share to you a free gift. It's a hero's journey. It's a toolkit, a worksheet that you can use. And this one will help your teenage child discover their hero's journey so that they can confidently verbalize their thoughts and ideas to you. So maybe your child right now is having challenges expressing themselves, not really having that clarity because of a lot of different experience. Maybe they experience rejection, you know, maybe they experience betrayal with their friends. Hindi lang ma-share sa'yo. Maybe they were able to share that with you before, pero alam mo, parang we just shrug it away because we felt it was petty. But for them, it was a big deal, and they stopped expressing themselves to you. Let's allow them to speak. Let's allow them to express. Take advantage of this gift. I'm giving this to you. Just check my Facebook page, Coach Shaun Dioya. Message me there. I'll send it to you. Let me have a conversation with your daughter, your son, when they're ready. Let's help them. Let's help them verbalize. Let's help them speak. Because when we allow them to speak, I tell you, the world just changes. And it just makes the world much better than it was right now. So if you want to learn more about how you can get your kids to behave, what conversations with you having, what mindset can you have, join me. The registration fee for single parent here is 2,999, but for couple it's 4,999. If you have questions, if you want to clarify things, message me 0917-806-4200. That's Coach Tin's number. I tell you how this program will transform your life. No joke to. Now you would really have that intimate conversation with your children. And it's so powerful that's just going to change the way you see them and you see yourself. All right? So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for staying with me for an hour. I hope you've learned something from this. Share some of your learnings in your page, your timeline. Share it with your friends. Share it with your child. Have a conversation. Start working on the conflicts. And as I said, if after this still conflict is a challenge, having that connection with your child is a challenge, join me. Let's have a conversation. Let me help you. Let me help you help your children verbalize their thoughts, their needs, their wants, their desires, their dreams, so that they may see that there is beauty in life. That's just not all about pain and suffering. I mean, pain and suffering is great if you see that in a perspective where you grow. That it's needed because you want to be compassionate and you want to be empathetic with the other people. So as I end this conversation, let me invite you to be part of what we are doing as an organization, a professional certified life coach. Do join us for another conversation later with Coach Norts. Ayan, siya po mamaya at 2 p.m. So he's gonna talk about intentional living. Ayan, maganda yan. So for those of you who wants to be intentional, grab 2 p.m., put that in your schedule. And Coach PB at 4 p.m., which is self literacy. For those of you who want to have a deeper understanding of who you are, what you want to do, and how you want to move forward, join Coach PB. I would also like to invite you for Master Coach A co-actively co-create life coach certification program. We're done with batch number 1. I tell you, 21 days of specific and powerful journey. It's so foundational. It will help you as a life coach create an active process of creating new paths to achieving results in life so that you can be successful and inevitable in every coaching relationship. Yeah, it includes a 21-day web-based learning, a 3-day live coaching bootcamp with Master Coach A, and a 3-day live business bootcamp with a senior coaching team. So the program package also comes with many other bonuses. I tell you, ang dami. You can even start practicing after, and you can start your business. Connect with Coach yourself through 0917-586-1661 to discover opportunities waiting for you for this profession. All right? Maraming salamat again for everyone who's joined me this morning. You know, start that conversation now. Yan. Put warmth in there. When you catch yourself na naiirita ka na, naiinis ka na, put the warmth there. Balik pa rin sa puso mo. And that will, take you for a long haul. Okay? Once again, thank you very much. This is Coach Shaun De from Life Coach Philippines for Coaching Think Talk. Coaching coaches like us think, and talk like this. This is us in the Philippines. And maraming salamat. Love, bam, boom. Love, bam, boom. Love, bam, boom. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.